weight, we knew something was not right. So the tarmac officers were put on red alert, and when the goods arrived, they monitored it to see who would come forward. Those who smuggled it in knew they had been caught. They stayed away.
Having been seized, the items are destroyed to save Nigerians the negative consequences of consuming such items. Comptroller Lena Oyama cautions on this unpatriotic act of sabotage to the nation's economy and welfare of the citizens.
These ones come in different forms. Some people will want to prefer them, because of the taste for imported things. And the local farmer will not have much to do. Besides, there are health implications, because we checked the cartons of the so-called prepared beef. There was nothing from NAFDAC, nothing. So anything could have been packaged and brought for Nigerians to consume. And that's how our health will continue to be in jeopardy.
With interception of these and other previously intercepted ones at the airport, the message is:
our tarmac officers are always very vigilant. They will not stop. We know as long as the smugglers do not stop, we will not stop. We will continue to arrest it. We will continue to make these seizures. Anyone that finds his way into this command, we will arrest.
Comptroller Oyama believes that the ongoing partial border closure has heightened the desperation of smugglers to explore other ways of perpetrating their illegal act, the airport inclusive. This, she emphasizes, will continue to fail. In determined efforts to suppress smuggling, officers and men at Federal Operations Unit Zone A have intercepted on customs goods valued at 194 million naira. The items include 1,333 bags of foreign parboiled rice attempted to be smuggled into the country. This seizure reveals how smugglers continue to sharpen their evil skills to no avail as customs continues to stem their evil acts.
These people are desperate. You can see how the desperation is. Rice inside, outside corn. At the same time, they pretend that they are carrying charcoal. So they use charcoal to cover. So this is just to show a new method of concealment. However you design new method, you are ahead of.
Federal Operation Unit Zone A has also intercepted 272 bales of second-hand clothing, along with the means of conveyance, 47 cartons of analgin injection, which has been banned from use in this country for years now, and 460 cartons of unregistered drugs.
Any drug that comes without an NAFDAC number, then is not certified for a human consumption. So you call it painkiller, I call it killer machine. So look at the tablets. It has no NAFDAC number. You see, you may have a Chaka pen, the genuine ones, but if it has NAFDAC number, it's good for human consumption. But anything that comes without NAFDAC number is no good for human consumption. I will not allow it. That's how we arrest this. If you take something that is no good for human consumption, you know the results.
Within the period of 1 month, the operations unit has also intercepted 10 exotic cars of various brands. Comptroller Muhammad Aliyu laments that despite reprieve granted by the Service for Vehicle Owners to regularize their documents, some unpatriotic Nigerians are bent to smuggling cars using deceitful tactics.
Look at this one now. Plate number is covered. By mere looking at his car, you thought a big man is coming. But he's not a big man, he's a smuggler. This number is a fake number. Even if it is the new number, he went and registered on non-vehicle. Later he went and smuggled the vehicle. So it can be fake, it can be genuine. That one cannot deceive us. Presently, we don't have period of detention. Whenever we arrest vehicle from the bush, instantly it's seizure.
Comptroller Aliyu acknowledges the success of the ongoing border drill in reducing smuggling activities, noting that this unit continues to collaborate with sister agencies to tackle the trend. In another development, the unit has decorated its officers who have been promoted recently with their new ranks. Comptroller of the Operation Unit, while congratulating the officers, admonishes them thus.
This promotion is part of motivation to the officers. You know, they don't sell rank in the market. Their effort make them to get that promotion. And with the promise of the RCGC, we look at it as a motivation. Since they are motivated, they are promoted, we should also use that opportunity given to them to work hard, no compromise.
Some of the newly promoted officers shared their feelings with the customs duty crew.
I promise to give my best to this new rank. I'm really very grateful because I'm already motivated with this promotion. It's something I'm very excited on.
Indeed, the Nigeria Customs Service will continue to boost the welfare of its personnel in order to achieve optimal performance and resultant better service delivery to the nation.
Are you familiar with James Bond? How about his cars? Well, like the famous James Bond cars of all times, this one also comes with all the usual Q-branch refinement and trick compartments. Most of the compartments here are padded and recasted, hand-built and modified by unscrupulous geniuses aimed at perpetuating nefarious activities. To an unsuspecting person, this 5-seater saloon car could pass for any ordinary vehicle driven by a God-fearing mobilized Nigerian striving to make day-to-day living.
Look at the number of this cloth. It's all coming from the motor engine. So see the method of concealment. Then when you come down here, you see this number. It's coming from the roofing. The roofing has a bunker. We never talk of what the content inside the space of the car. By the time we bring this thing out, I assure you, maybe we cannot talk of kilos, we may talk of maybe 10 tires.
On closer inspections, however, the bonnets reveal items neatly stocked everywhere between the alternator, spark plugs, air filter, fuel injector, and shock absorbers. Even the floor subframe of the passenger seat have been turned into a mini warehouse. Welcome to...
We jump to the steering and move with the car. So sometimes we concentrate more on, put more effort to secure the vehicle than to go for the suspects.
Just to satisfy your curiosity, a total of 324 textile wrappers and 52 cartons of tin tomato paste concentrate with duty-paid value of 2,613,600 naira were retrieved from a single trip of this wonder car. Controller Muhammad Aliu said his officers and men are determined to bring every professional dexterity to the fore in order to bring perpetrators to book and boost revenue generation at the borders despite daunting challenges.
An import refers to goods brought into a jurisdiction, especially across the national border, from an external source. In international trade, the importation and exportation of goods are limited by import quotas and mandates from Customs Authority. Data on international trade in goods are mostly obtained through declaration of Customs Service. When goods are to be imported, they have to undergo clearance, which is an act of complying with import regulations of an importing country. Controller Tariff of the Nigerian Customs Service educate us on clearance procedures as it obtains in Nigeria.
The pre-importation documentation is whereby an intending importer goes to his authorized dealer bank, submit his pro forma invoice for the completion of electronic Form N. Essential elements of the pro forma invoice are now captured in the electronic Form N, such as the consignor, that is the supplier, the consignee, that is the importer, his TIN number, the item to be imported, the quantity, the price. Now, after these elements are captured in the Form M, the Form M now is transmitted to custom platform, the file ruling center. In the FAR Ruling Center, the EXPO unit will now scrutinize this Form M and validate it if the elements in the pro forma invoice and that of the Form M tallies. Where there are certain regulatory requirements, like if it is medicaments, there is NAFDA certification, then some standard organization, NDLE, items that requires end user from the Office of the National Security, all these documents will be attached. Then the scrutinizing officer, that is the SO in the FAR platform, check this document. If these documents are complete, he validates Form M, which means the importer is now free to go and make his importation. After the importation, the importer is required to submit the combined certificate of value and origin, the final invoice, the transport document, that is if it is by sea, the bill lading, if it's by air, the airway bill, if it's by land, the way bill, roadway bills. Then the FDDO unit in the FAR platform, that is the officer in charge of final document verification. He will now verify these documents. After verifying this document and is certified, he moves the document to BCO. The BCO is the Valuation and Classification Officers Unit. They will check the classification. If it is a book, they check, does it fall under Chapter 49? If it is paper, does it fall under Chapter 48? If it is an electronic gadget, does it fall under Chapter 85? If it is machinery, does it fall under Chapter 84? Furniture, you will make the due diligence in checking. After that, we have the FAR registration officer. These FAR registration officers, they will do the risk profiling. On the FAR, there is an intelligent remark. The FAR registration officer will make his remark in form of other invoicing, under invoicing, concealment, suspected to conceal. He will make this remark. It is now left for the customs at the clearance level. Now, at the clearance level, in accordance with the WCO standard, the importer's right, he has the right to make declaration. The custom will now do the check and the verification. After the declaration by the importer, he will make declaration, assess himself, make payments, attempt to obtain release. In attempting to obtain release, he will now trigger the risk engine. The risk engine will now push him based on his risk level. Is he free to go? That is green. Is he going to PCA? That is the blue lane. Is he going for physical examination? That is the red lane. Or a light red for non-instructive examination. That is the scanning aspect. If it is routed to red, which means it's going for physical examination, the officers at the examination bay or the shed will now conduct 100% examination on the consignment. If satisfied, they will make their inspection act. Yes, release from custom control. The consignment now is free to go. The next process is for him to go to terminal operator to obtain release. The release process ends there.
Not all goods are allowed into a country, as certain goods may be restricted from being imported. This brings to the fore the concept of import prohibition. Controller Hamza Gummi explains.
Import prohibitions, we have them in two schedules. Schedule 3, import prohibition trade, revised. Schedule 4, absolute prohibition. Import prohibition trade of Schedule 3 are those items that are restricted for a period of time. They may be allowed to come in after such restriction has been lifted. The items there are live or dead animals, pork meat, bird eggs, refined vegetable oil, coloring matter, sugar cane or beef sugar that is chemically refined, water, including aerated water, but excluding life-saving water. Medicaments falling under heading 3003, that is paracetamol tablet in syrup, chloroquine tablet and syrup, folic acid. Then you have waste of pharmaceutical industry is also prohibited under trade, soap and detergent in retail form, sanitary wares of plastic, mosquito repellents. Then you have retreaded tire, corrugated paper and paperboard. You have also telephone recharge cards and vouchers of 4911.99901. Carpets and other textile floor covering, all types of footwear, bags and suitcases, hollow glass bottle of a capacity exceeding 150 milligrams, used compressors for refrigerators and air conditioners, used motor vehicles above 15 years old. You also have other items that were restricted, but now restrictions has been lifted, like furniture. Under the current revised import provision, textile fabric and furniture are no longer under Schedule 3. That is import prohibition trade. Now we have also absolute prohibition. These items are absolutely prohibited from coming into the country. Example of such items, we have arms and ammunition, second-hand clothing, assorted tea, coffins, silver coins or gold. They are absolutely prohibited. Then nuclear energy waste is absolutely prohibited to be imported into the country.
When laws are put in place, there are bound to be deviants, which makes the presence of enforcers come in handy. One may ask, what happens when items that make the import prohibition list are illegally imported into Nigeria and are cited by the Nigerian Customs Service?
Under Section 46 of SEMA, these items are to be forfeited. They are to be detained, seized, gazetted, and forfeited to the federal government.
The Customs Duty Crew also sought to know whether certain conditions could warrant allowing items on the import prohibition list in Nigeria to be approved for importation.
We have item sample of no commercial quantity. If you bring in a sample, if it's under Schedule 3, items of Schedule 3, sample, you bring in sample, not in commercial quantity. Then personal effect. You travel, you come back with quantity that is not regarded as in commercial quantity. That is under Schedule 3. Now, under Schedule 4, these items that are absolutely prohibited, like arms and ammunition, what it requires is an end user. Any of the armed forces can bring in some ammunition with an end user, despite the fact that they are under Schedule 4. Under Consolidated Act of Section 21, the President of the country is allowed under Item 11 to add or remove or allow any or vary any of the schedule in the common extra time.
Indeed, the Nigerian Customs Service plays a significant role in enforcing import and export guidelines as designed by law in Nigeria.
The Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service wishes to inform members of the public that the export of wood and bark
It's compelling on us to have a vibrant and prosperous region.
ECOWAS countries search for solutions to security challenges in the Sahel region. Basic education set for a new lease of life as Education Minister launches comprehensive document on myths and realities in the sector.
We really intend to bring an end to this Boko Haram issue.
You remain heroes of our time. Defense boss tells troops fighting insurgency in the northeast. Reconciliation in the All Progressives Congress, APC. Party lifts ban on suspended members. Good evening. You are live with me, Muhammad Kudu Abubakar, on the network service of the NTA. Michael Olale joins me from Lagos. Dibabari Seadamo Nweke is Port Harcourt, while Felicia will be on from Jos. The amendment of the Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contract Act and the returning Nigeria's budget lifespan to January-December cycle appears to be the major legislative intervention of the 9th Senate so far. Most interestingly, the parliamentary process that produced these legislations were bipartisan. President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, stated these at a meeting with editors, bureau chiefs of media establishments, and accredited correspondents of the media in the 9th Senate. Ignatius Nko has details.
This is a meeting involving two significant democratic institutions, the legislative arm of government and the fourth estate of the realm. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, believes Nigerians deserve to know what the Senate has done in the last 6 months, and a forum like this becomes the best channel to speak to Nigerians. He reeled out Senate's achievements so far.
The Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contracts Bill. This law will significantly increase accruals to the government from crude oil contracts.
The passage of the 2020 appropriation bill in record time and the passage of the Public Procurement Act Amendment Bill and the Finance Bill 2019 were highlighted.
This structural change and the prompt passage of the appropriation bill will give the government a full year to implement the budget. We believe this measure will enhance planning, implementation and monitoring of the budget.
Senator Lawan explained that the relationship between the legislature and other arms of government so far has been cooperative.
The 9th Senate has also confirmed 12 key appointments, including those of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Ministers of the Government of the Federation, Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, President of the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, and chairmen and members of 8 commissions.
He re-emphasized that oversight and constituency projects will receive more commitment as the Senate has resolved to hold meetings with revenue-generating agencies on a quarterly basis. The President of the Senate explained that the Senate will consider the loan request by the executive, while the decision of the public will determine the progress of the hate speech bill.
But I want to assure you that the preponderance of opinion of Nigerians will determine the way the hate speech and indeed any other bill goes.
The 9th Senate has so far passed 185 bills through first reading. 32 have gone past second reading. 78 petitions received. Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
Concerned by the security situation in the Sahel region of the ECOWAS, the Council of Ministers of the 15 member nations is holding a critical meeting in Abuja with a view to assessing and providing solutions to the region's numerous security threats. Usman Aliyu now reports.
The Sahel region of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger are all facing security threats because of the activities of terrorists. That's the reason for this meeting, which seeks to find solutions on how to prevent deteriorating security in the ECOWAS sub-region. President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibrau, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Niger Republic, Kala Ankarau, asked the ECOWAS community to be more committed in actualizing the security action plan. Nigeria also concurred.
It's compelling on us to have a vibrant and prosperous region that will bring development and better livelihood to our citizens.
In 2020, 6 countries of the ECOWAS will hold presidential elections, and this meeting hopes to ensure stability in those places, drawing from the resolutions that would emanate from this meeting.
There's going to be election first in Togo, then in Burkina Faso, in Ghana, in Niger, and in Guinea-Conakry, and Cote d'Ivoire. So the meeting is going to review the political situation of the region and then advise the head of state appropriately by.
Peace and security, which the ECOWAS Mediation Council basically meets on, is crucial not only for political stability, but for the economic development of the sub-region. In Abuja, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
Still on security, the Office of the National Security Advisor is sensitizing Nigerians on the National Security Strategy 2019 document, recently launched as a roadmap and an antidote to emerging security challenges. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
The document, with inputs from different ministries, departments and agencies, provided a roadmap to addressing security threats, which was reviewed and relaunched recently by President Muhammadu Buhari.
The new notion of national security under this administration places emphasis on the people as the referent object and not the state, aimed at enhancing the social well-being of the citizenry. This strategy, therefore, underscores the need to address the socio-economic concerns such as corruption, which breeds poverty and unemployment, insecurity, and the diversification of the economy, which are the three key objectives of this administration.
The task before this platform is to explain delegated responsibilities of ministries, departments, non-governmental organizations, traditional institutions, and the civil organizations to enhance implementation and the success of the strategy.
Most government documents, sometimes it's easy to read if it's legal or educational. But when it comes to this particular document, it's a combination of many things. It's a bit thick, dense, academic.
The document is subjected to periodic review based on emerging security challenges. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The government and people of Nigeria will cherish heroes of neighboring countries such as Chadian forces that have cooperated in the fight against insurgency. Minister of Defense Major General Bashir Salihi Magashi stated this when he visited troops on the front line at the headquarters of the Sector 3 Operation Lafia Dole and Multinational Joint Task Force in Monguno, Borno State.
Monguno town headquarters of Monguno local government area is strategic to the Nigerian army, being a gateway to other towns of economic potentials such as Baga, Kukawa, Guzamala, as well as Mobar in northern Borno. Kanasar cantonment in Monguno has for long, even before the Boko Haram insurgency, was established to safeguard the economic viability of the areas and currently houses Nigeria and Chadian forces engaged in counter-insurgency operations. While addressing the troops, Major General Bashir Magashi noted that they remain the most valuable asset in protecting the country's integrity and security.
We really intend to bring an end to this Boko Haram issue, and God willing, we'll make it in no distant time.
The Minister of Defense also stressed that the federal government will do all in its power to provide requirements for improved operational efficiency. He also assured the troops of better welfare and motivation for a safe return to their families and wished them Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. In Maiduguri, Naomi Abu, NTA News.
Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar has reaffirmed the readiness of the Air Force in maintaining and employing air power operations in fulfillment of the national defense and security tasks. He stated this during the graduation of participants of the Course 5, 2019 Air Force War College. Makudi Chazaba reports.
Air Force War College has continued to develop the capacity of military officers in operational planning and employment of air power to counter insurgencies, terrorism, and other criminal acts that are threatening the peace and unity of Nigeria. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, indicated that the training of military officers at the War College has provided capacity for tackling insecurity with effective air power strategies.
Let us be reminded that nations that wish to project military power must equip and structure their air forces to effectively apply air power in a variety of roles.
Air Force has been playing significant and crucial roles in the ongoing counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism operation.
Out of the 20 graduates of the course, Wing Commander Emmanuel Ubene, who clinched the Best All-Round Award, expressed optimism at using the experience gained to bear on effective operations. The occasion also featured the unveiling of the Air Force Maiden magazine and awards to designated officers and induction of the 20 graduates into the fellowship of the Air Force War College. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
In continuation of the Operation Rattlesnake, the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has utilized some Islamic State of West Africa province fighters at their hideouts in Kolaram on the fringes of the Lake Chad in northern part of Borno State. A statement by the NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibukule Daramola, announced that the operation was executed on 14th of December 2019 following credible intelligence reports indicating that some of the ISWAP leaders had assembled for a meeting in one of the two buildings at the center of the settlement. The Nigerian Air Force jets dispatched by the ATF to attack the location scored accurate hits on the target and destroying the building completely. Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu has attributed the successes recorded in the war against armed robbery, banditry, cultism, communal violence and kidnapping to the launch of Operation Puff Adder. He gave the assessment at a strategic meeting with police managers in Abuja. Francis Form has details.
This meeting is being convened for 4 major objectives.
This is the last meeting of strategic police managers for the year, and the police is using the platform to review the internal security dynamics within the year, especially the impacts of strategies adopted, and also project and set targets for the coming year.
The agenda of the force in the upcoming years will focus on improving the overall efficiency of the force through capacity building in policing, technology, intelligence, investigation, prosecutions, as well as crime prevention and control through a more robust, visible policing architecture.
From January 2019 to date, 6,531 high-profile suspects are said to have been arrested in various operations across the country, with their operational bases destroyed.
All these achievements would not have been possible without the sacrifice of all of you seated here, as well as other officers across all ranks who are out there sacrificing day and night for the safety and security of citizens of our beloved nation. I'm very proud of you.
With the procurement of patrol and electronic surveillance vehicles, civil disorder management trucks, special operation van, and the completion of National Command and Control Center towards the end of this year, the police is optimistic of reducing crime and criminality in the country. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari sends warm felicitations to Alhaji Umaru Abdul Mutallab, renowned businessman and leading banker who turned 80. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, announced that the President congratulates the former Minister of Economic Development and later Minister of Cooperatives and Supplies for his active role in the structuring and operations of Nigeria's financial system. Highlighting his contributions to the banking sector as Managing Director, CEO of UBA, Chairman of First Bank PLC and Jaiz Bank International PLC. As Mutallab turns an octogenarian, the President believes his resourceful management skills and entrepreneurial spirit will continue to inspire ongoing efforts to diversify the economy as he wishes him sound health. More reports emerge and more facts also emerge on Miner's case. Details when we return.
In the city, talking. In the places where people meet and talking. Catch the beat and keep talking this festive season, Nigeria.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, invites select directorate and senior level officers at the ministries, departments and agencies to the second phase of a 4-day specialized capacity building program on policy implementation and cabinet documentation processes for enhanced service delivery. Theme: Capacity building on policy management processes and cabinet documentation for enhanced service delivery. Training objective: to strengthen the skills of directorate and senior level officers at the ministries, departments and agencies in the area of policy management, including preparing and processing of council documents. The training is scheduled to hold as follows. Date: December 19th to 22nd, 2019. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Venue: Center for Management Development, Shangisha, Lagos State. All participants are expected to arrive on Wednesday, December 19th, 2019 for induction ceremony at 4 p.m. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Babatunde Lawal, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Announcer.
Nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams but you. Nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams. Chris is saying, believe in your originality and nothing can stop you.
Chris Air Fine Jewelry and Timepieces. Visit us at Transcorp Hilton Lobby opposite UBA Abuja.
Why you want to carry wala for your head? No be only you get matter for your mind. No. Forget your worries, look on the door yourself. My brother, free your mind. Enjoyment, don't be crying. Trust the lead to live your life and be free.
Free your mind with Airtel Smart Talk and enjoy calls to all networks at a flat rate of 11 kobo per second. 7 naira fee on the first call of the day applies. Dial *315# to join.
Trust the lead to live your life, free your mind.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Them girls just they feel me now, cause I get some money, then they feel me now. Back then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they want to get it. Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body.
Think about them. No be only cloth this sewing machine they make. If you put food for your table and roof over person head. Carry you go Ogbonge fashion show around the world. Find the cocoa inside every story. Go bbc.com/pidgin to see more of your world.
Come join us. Mom says we have more than enough.
Wherever you may travel, whoever you will be with, we wish you a supreme Christmas. Be supreme, Nigeria.
Treat your family to a cereal that's made from the natural goodness of maize and soya protein and specially combined with Grain Smart, a smart combination of vitamins and iron. So that they have the right kind of energy to help them reach their full potential and turn the simple into amazing. Eat up and carry go because nothing do you. Golden Morn, make every day amazing.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Thank you for joining us. This is the Network News. There is hope rising for the penetration of broadband services to every part of Nigeria. This hope draws from the federal government's inauguration of a committee to review the National Broadband Plan, which targets the growth of digital economy in Nigeria. Onenye Fineface has the report.
Communications and Digital Economy Minister Issa Ali Ibrahim Pantami there
inaugurating the National Broadband Plan 2020 to 2025 committee. The task of the committee is to present a plan that will make internet connection available, affordable, safe and secure for all Nigerians.
You cannot promote and develop digital economy without broadband at your disposal or in your country.
We are very much keen to do everything we can to support the very ambitious goal of increasing the broadband penetration rate to between 65 and 66%.
To build the required broadband infrastructure to actualize Nigeria's digital economy strategies is a task the committee is set to undertake with dispatch.
Broadband to the digital economy is like electricity was to the industrial age.
Success in the new broadband plan is expected to make digital economy the biggest contributor to Nigeria's gross domestic product. In Abuja, Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has fixed the 17th of this month to hear the applications seeking to review the bail conditions of Abdul Rashid Maina, former chairman, Pension Reform Task Team, who is standing trial on 12-count charge bordering on fraud and money laundering. The court also admitted the statement of the prosecution's second witness as evidence before the court. The prosecution's second witness, who was cross-examined on witness protection, admitted to having 6 car accounts in 3 banks, which are all linked to the same bank verification number. The witness confirmed to the court that one of the second defendant's account, Common Inputs Property Investment Limited, belonging to the first defendant, Abdul Rashid Maina, is linked to her bank verification number, contrary to her statement that she does not know the first defendant to be doing any business aside from being a civil servant. The prosecution applied to present its third witness on the next adjourned date, which is the 17th of December 2019. Still on court matters, the National Industrial Court says 3 parties laying claim to the presidency of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria must do all they can to ensure that their followers obey the court order on the maintenance of peace. The presiding judge, Justice Olufunke Anue, reiterated the order at the resumption of court proceedings in Abuja. Olabode Arewa has the report.
Hearing resumed at National Industrial Court, Abuja Division, over who is the authentic president of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. 3 individuals, Mr. Esuerio, Mr. Musa Mohammed, and the former president of the association, Mr. Shehu Isiwele, are all laying claim to the position. While Isiwele was removed by the ESCO in 2018, Esuerio's replacement was removed in September 2019. Erio had gone ahead to obtain an interlocutory injunction to stop Musa Mohammed and 6 others from parading themselves as president and leaders of the group. Counsel to Musa Mohammed, Sule Shaibu, argued that Esuerio had been duly removed in accordance with the constitution of the association, adding that since the interlocutory injunction that Erio relied upon had lapsed, Musa Mohammed remained the authentic president. Counsel to Isiwele, through the LASCN, brought an application seeking to enter appearance as a party in the suit.
So right now, Comrade Osakpoma Oriyo still remains the national president of the union. That's all.
It remains in the realm of allegation that there is contempt. We have not seen any contempt. Our clients have been law-abiding. We have always been advising them.
Justice Olufunke Anue gave an order granting an extension of time for the parties to regularize their processes. The court also warned the parties to refrain from using extrajudicial means to achieve their aim while the suit lasts. The case has been adjourned to the 29th of January 2020. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Nigerian Correctional Service has commenced its new reformation task from within its ranks with a lecture tagged Workplace and Corruption, the Corollary. Victor Azul reports that it is to commemorate the 2019 International Anti-Corruption Day.
A 2017 survey on graft by the National Bureau of Statistics puts the amount paid in bribes to civil servants and other public officials at about 400 billion naira annually. While this is by no means negligible, there are indications that many Nigerians are ignorant of activities likely to be captured under the big banner of corruption. This lecture by the Nigerian Correctional Service to commemorate the 2019 International Anti-Corruption Day is therefore an attempt to shed more light on the subject, with a representative of the Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission delivering the lecture.
Where you have systems that are having loopholes, the corrupt individual will exploit these loopholes to their advantage.
A drama skit by pupils of the Correctional Service Staff School shows efforts by the service to catch them young.
We are all witnesses to how the integrity of our nation has been battered by the negative tendency of corruption, leaving us with no option than to launch a full-fledged war against this scourge.
In the end, the target audience, officers and men of the service, appear to have improved their knowledge of what constitutes corruption in the workplace.
I got to know the different aspects of corruption and the effects of corruption in our society.
With this, the new Nigerian Correctional Service has begun the task of correcting Nigerians from within, a move participants believe is the right approach to delivering on its new mandate. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
You can best imagine what will happen to the welfare and issues of women in Nigeria, as all the ministers who had served in the Ministry of Women Affairs since inception joined forces with the serving Minister of Women Affairs to brainstorm on innovations that will better the lives of women. Nonso Damien Ete was there and now reports.
Familiar faces who might have been out of the screen or papers for a while, but certainly not out of the minds of women in Nigeria. They all have served as ministers of women affairs at one point in time. So, it is with joy and excitement that they troop to their former office to answer the clarion call by the current minister, Pauline Talon.
Have you reflected on the roles you've played and as former ministers in these ministries, and for your contribution towards the upliftment of women, I want to bestow on all of you the title of Women Ambassadors.
It's not just time for reunion, but an opportunity for the younger to meet with the older ministers who have all served in same capacity.
We will all stand by you. We've been there before. We know where the shoe hurts. And we will always promote the interest of women wherever we find ourselves, mobilizing women to be interested in politics.
Diverse ideas and suggestions on how it can be done better.
Gender-based violence, we used to have legal aid centers. Let those centers be the first point of call for victims of such violence.
It is when women are in governance that things will get better for women, for children, for the elderly.
Rape is on the increase, and this is one area that we need to address seriously.
We have pledged our loyalty to continue to support her.
For these former ministers, it is a rewarding meeting that should be recorded in the annals of women ministry. Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
Millions of local farmers are expected to have improved access to fertilizer at affordable prices in the new farming season. This follows the implementation of a strategic intervention of the Nigerian incentive-based risk-sharing system for agricultural lending to 7 fertilizer stocking companies. Abdullah Mohammed has this update.
Farmers like Noura Aliyu admit they had an awesome farming season this year, but not without some pockets of difficulties, especially with regards to the availability of fertilizer. These may turn out to be the last time Noura and millions of other farmers experience difficulties in accessing fertilizer, because the Nigeria incentive-based risk-sharing system for agricultural lending, NISL, has provided cover to 7 fertilizer stocking companies, which gives them the liquidity to flood the market with the critical farm input and also advance credit.
To us, who are the strategic distributors of this product, what is happening now during this? Already there has been production since rainy season to cater for the dry season farming.
Exercise has succeeded because it has created a lot of employment opportunities for our teeming populations to this part of the country.
For NISL, this success story has a positive multiplier effect on the fertilizer blending industry.
As a result of the supply of fertilizer in good time to farmers, ladies and gentlemen, you know what will happen to the farm. productivity will increase and yield will increase, and farmers will have more revenue and therefore more money in their pocket.
What is putting smiles on the face of the Chief Executive Officer of NISEL is that this single credit risk guarantee to the fertilizer business is yielding more than 17,000 direct jobs. In Kaduna, Abdullahi Muhammad, NTA News.
The National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has lifted the suspension of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, Senator Ibikunle Amosu, Senator Rochas Okorocha, Mr. Oster Okechukwu, and Pastor Usani Uguru Usani. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Lanre Issa Onilu, in a statement, announced that this is in line with the party's deliberate policy of fairness and actions targeted at ensuring harmony within the party across the country. The APC has also expressed hope that the concerned party members will seize the opportunity to fully reconcile themselves with their ward, local government and state party structures, key into the party activities, and continue to make their own contributions to the growth and development and stability of the party. Let's now join Michael Olale in Lagos for more reports on the network news. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Muhammad, and welcome to Lagos. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says the country will save about $10 billion per annum upon completion and full operation of the Dangote refinery come 2020 and strengthen the macroeconomy of the nation. The minister disclosed this while on assessment tour of the ongoing construction of their claims to be the largest single-train petroleum refinery in the world. Amaka Owo reports.
Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, in company of the Chief Executive Officer of the Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, was given a breakdown of the scope of ongoing construction during an interactive session. She visited state-of-the-art facilities, including the jetty, fertilizer plant, petrochemical plant and refinery, to get a first-hand impression of the project with capacity of 650,000 barrels per day.
He's creating a large export industry that will help to bring in foreign exchange into the country, shoring up our reserves. And as a business, he will be growing his revenue from about $4 billion to about $30 billion. There will be great benefit in terms of the employment of people.
She also inspected the 33-kilometer Oshodi-Apapa Expressway, also being constructed by the Dangote Group.
This is the kind of standards that we want roads to be in the future in Nigeria.
The Dangote Group reaffirms that the refinery, upon completion, will produce about 65% of the nation's crude.
We are investing group-wide, not only here, almost about $20 billion. But that will take us up to $30 billion of revenue year on year.
The refinery is going to be a game changer for the country. The entire foreign exchange which is being drained out for imports will all be saved.
With a total production of 103 million liters of gasoline, kerosene and diesel per day, it is expected that the refinery can restore the pride of Nigeria as a nation that refines and exports her crude. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
Celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ is an annual tradition of the Household of God Ministries, Lagos, tagged Grace. The event was primarily to show love in line with the teachings of Christ. Tunde Saiki reports.
These are charitable organizations that have impacted the society positively. This year's Caris Award winner, Panojim Mayegun, the first Nigerian to clinch an Olympic medal for the country in the 1964 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Japan in boxing. The Grace Awards went to the Pacheli School for the Blind and Partially Sighted, the Spinal Cord Injuries Association of Nigeria, and the Sunshine Foundation, as well as the Strong Tower Mission.
It's my joy that the ministry, Household of God, take it as pertinent to honor the legend.
The pastor, Household of God Ministries, Reverend Chris Okoti, says the celebration and awards epitomizes what Jesus Christ represents.
So the household of God has this propensity, an inclination, a proclivity towards charity. And we've done this for upward of 29 years, and I trust the Lord that we'll continue to do so.
The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, pointed out that the gesture by the church would inspire other Nigerians to contribute to the growth of individuals and the nation at large.
When it comes to sports development and such recognitions, it's both the government and the private sector that should do it. And I take a lesson away from here.
There was no dull moment at Grace 2019, which also featured the Queen Esther Beauty Pageant, where Precious Babs Olorunkemi emerged the overall winner. Gospel music and energetic dance steps added color to the event. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has commended the wives of late Fela Anikulapo Kuti for their commitment and support towards keeping the legacies of the late Afrobeat king. The minister stated these at a forum held in their honor in Lagos. Our Yusuf Jibo reports.
21 years after the demise of the late Afrobeat king Fela Anikulapo Kuti, the unity amongst the family and upholding of what he stood for have been sustained by the family. It is against this background that the Minister of Information and Culture joined organizers to recognize the invaluable contribution of Fela to the entertainment industry and sustenance which the immediate family has continued to project.
This particular administration is very, very keen on supporting the creative industry. Fela was, a man who defined his era, and I think long after he died, some of the ideals he stood for are still relevant.
Organizers say the women around Fela provided significant support to the late Afrobeat king while he was alive, adding that their sacrifices should not go unnoticed.
We are focusing more on the artistic side of Fela and the girls that lived with him. A lot of us don't know much about them.
High point of the event was the rendition of some of Fela's popular songs. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports after this commercial break. Please stay tuned.
International blogger, I travel a lot.
Canada,
India,
Times Square, Hollywood,
shut down New York, and then we'll be back in India. This tour is going to be fantabulous. I'm telling you the truth. We are shutting down London. But it's been an awesome time hanging out with you. It's time for dance. Hey! You must be on Glow.
Is that your new pickup line?
Glow Super Value Pack. Enjoy more talk time with data and more data with talk time in Nigeria and your favorite international destinations.
Because as a comedian, I like to talk.
So true.
So what do you do? Oh, I call you.
Dial *777# to choose a plan. Glow Unlimited.
Them girls just they feel me now, cause I get some money, then they feel me now. Back then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they wanna get it. Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm.
Years ago, a scout was looking around Bayelsa. Luckily for me, he came to my school. And that was how my journey of becoming the Nestle Milo Basketball Championship MVP began. Along the path, some people tried to discourage me because I was short. But then I got to realize that it's about your heart, not about your height. Sometimes I get discouraged going for training and all that. Sometimes I trek, and that is what every person that knows where he or she is going has to do, to play along with the challenges and make sure you overcome it. I am grateful for the platform Nestle is giving to young athletes like me. My name is Regina Donano, and this is my journey.
Nestle, good food, good life.
You don't really own a watch until you own a Chris Air. Until you own a Chris Air.
Black Watch by Chris Air.
Sexy. The Black Watch.
Beautiful.
The Black Watch. Magnetic. Sexy. Black.
Elegant.
Love the new Black Watch by Chris Air.
Chris Air.
Visit us at Transcorp Hilton Lobby opposite UBA Abuja.
It is another morning. Not just an ordinary time. Start of a new day. A new beginning. As you prepare everyone for the long day ahead, just anything is not enough. It is only you who makes breakfast special. You make them creamy. You make them tasty. You add vitamins and nutrients we need for a delightful, healthy start to the day.
So start your day right with Hollandia Evap.
Hollandia Evap. Life tastes different. Hollandia.
How hot is she?
Maybe a 7. How hot is he?
8.5.
Whoa, how hot is she? Very hot. Pick me. Just pick me, baby. Come pick me, girl. Man, I'm all ready for you.
So tasty.
He's so lucky.
Stop being jealous, man.
Mini-Me. Taste the fun.
Everybody dance now. We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us. So Lord.
Let Mother Goodness fuel your greatness. Let's go.
Welcome back to our Abuja studios of NTA Network News. To business news now. Nigeria is reported to have balanced its trade or balancing its trade. But Bopalang is here to tell us how it was achieved.
Thank you very much, Kudu. The value of Nigeria's total trade increased by 6.77% to reach 9.187 billion naira at the end of the third quarter of 2019, boosted by higher export and less import. Latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that the value of the export component increased by 15.02% to 5.288 billion naira. On the other hand, the import component decreased by 2.70% in the quarter to 3.899 billion. The increase in exports coupled with the decrease in imports led to the positive trade balance of 1.389 billion naira during the period under review. What makes the Yuletide period worth celebrating for some people is their ability to meet some basic personal needs, which most times requires money and spending capacity of the individual. To make the season worth celebrating, some market women came together to reduce prices of food items in Wuse Neighborhood Market, Zone 3, Abuja.
This is 900 naira for market, but for here it's 700 naira. 200 naira reach you to do another thing.
Because during this Christmas time, things always cost. So, and it's very, very good as they do it like this for us.
A lot of people come to the market. They will beg for just half mudu of gari, so that they don't even ask for rice. So they will ask of half mudu of gari to go and drink with their children. Mama, I beg. I call my executive. I said, let us sell rice to the less privileged. Let us sell rice to the poor people so that they will enjoy.
And on the stock market, transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange opened the week in positive territory. The NSE All Share Index and market capitalization advanced by 0.60% to close at 26 6,695.18 basis points as traders exchanged 170 million shares valued at more than 2 billion naira in 4,700 deals. The financial services industry led the activity chart as transactions in the shares of Access Bank, UBA, and Zenith Bank topped volume of traded shares. Guinness, Dangote Cement, and PZ were the top 3 price gainers for the day, while FBNH, UACN, and UPL led the losers table. That's business news at this time. Kudu, it's back to you.
Thank you, Moplan. Lack of data for better planning in the provision of equitable quality education in the country will no longer be a challenge following the launching and presentation of the 2018 National Personnel Audit Report. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports that the document provided by UBEC was presented by Minister of Education Adamu in Abuja.
Before now, it was difficult for anyone, not even the Minister of Education or the Universal Basic Education Commission UBEC, can give exact number of pupils or teachers in the country. Even that of out-of-school children was from UNICEF. That has, however, changed, with a UBEC initiative that assigned a committee comprising National Space Research and Development Agency and Georeference Infrastructure and Demographic Data for Development to come up with a comprehensive data on number of pupils, teachers, qualified and unqualified, buildings and locations. The data, the expert in education say, will make planning less cumbersome.
The National Personnel Audit is key to the realization of the objectives of the Ministerial Strategic Plan because everything ultimately depends on it. Since without data, you cannot plan anything.
The report shows deficit in number of teachers and their supply state by state and by geopolitical zones. For the first time, not even public, private and faith-based schools are captured in the personnel audit report.
Knowing the problem is having half of the problem solved.
It is therefore our responsibility, every single one of us, to make sure that every child of school-going age has that basic education.
It is hoped that this will provide guidance on how education at the basic level can be planned to reorganize education at that level. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
Debabari in Port Harcourt take us through more reports on Network News. Over to you, Debabari.
Hello, Kudu, and welcome to Port Harcourt. Issues of flood, if properly managed, can contribute to economic growth in the country. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Comfort Ekaro, stated this at the end of a 3-day 9th National Water Conference organized by the National Water Resources Institute, Kaduna, in collaboration with the Niger Delta River Basin Development Authority in Port Harcourt. Joy Uzo reports.
The conference brought together experts and stakeholders in the water resources sector to deliberate and share knowledge and experiences on the main theme of the conference, which is flood management for economic development. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Comfort Ekaro, said with proper planning, flood can be preserved in reservoirs and released in dry seasons to enhance potent benefits in agriculture. Receiving a 2-page communique from conveners, she called on the 3 tiers of government to expedite implementation for economic development.
All we can do is to harvest it, enhance the water, get reservoirs to get the water together, and then at the time of need, you release the water to your farm for domestic use and all that.
Harnessing the potentials of our floodplain is key to success in this aspect.
Managing Director, Niger Delta River Basin Development Authority, Tonye David West, emphasized the need to desilt rivers and dams in the country for effective flood management.
If the government can desilt it, next rainy season it will take more water, and the flooding in Port Harcourt will be a bit reduced.
Other participants from across the Federation expressed pleasure on the knowledge on how to manage flood water for agricultural diversification and economic growth. In Port Harcourt, Joy Uzo, TA News.
The River State
government has set the stage for a fun-filled Yuletide. The brief ceremony to kickstart the celebration took place at Port Harcourt Pleasure Park. Ogedinyekwe tells us more.
I will cut this tape to the benefit of Rivers people and for their enjoyment of this pleasure park in the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. We thank His Excellency for the vision of converting this place that was once called the Borough Pit to this beautiful, lovely, relaxing place that it has turned out to be for families in Rivers State to come here to relax and connect with each other.
The wife of the Rivers State Governor, Justice Suzette Wike, setting the stage for the celebration of a fun-filled Yuletide. The brief ceremony was witnessed by dignitaries from all walks of life and members of the first family led by its head, Governor Nyesom Wike. This is the third year in a row that the Rivers State government is flagging off the annual Christmas season at the Port Harcourt Pleasure Park. In Port Harcourt, Ogedinyekwe, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. Is back to Kudu in Abuja. Good evening.
Thank you, Debawari. The Presidential Committee on Inventions and Innovations is implementing the roadmap with more than 500 beneficiaries receiving different grants to fast-track the initiative. Abubakar Osman Akwanga reports.
The quest to domesticate homegrown technologies in meeting competitive global standards is bringing local scientists to center stage to front government policies on science and technological revolution. As a first step measure, the federal government under the Presidential Committee on Invention and Innovations is empowering 126 beneficiaries under 4 categories on a budget of 81 million naira. The Ministry of Science and Technology is also introducing national research.
We are interested in creating a new generation of businessmen and women who depend on locally developed technologies to grow their businesses.
Professor Alfred Susu is one of the beneficiaries and an inventor of novel biomedical device for pain management in sickle cell patients.
I thank you for rewarding us, and in a little way, we are trying to project this country.
In a similar development, the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology has signed a memorandum of understanding with Climate Smart Community Agro-Based Resource Center aimed at reducing importation and increasing exports.
An initiative that will help arrest poverty, create employment, and generate wealth.
In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
When I take you to Jos, where Felicia is standing by to give us more reports on network news.
Thank you, Kudu. Welcome to Jos. To further aid the prudent management of Nigeria's resources and ensure greater accountability and transparency in physical operations, the Fiscal Responsibility Commission is partnering with the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, to scale up the training of staff in line with global best practices. Zanredimun reports.
The training, which will focus on strategic project monitoring, evaluation and methodology for analyzing and reviewing annual audited financial statement, is aimed at equipping senior staff members of the Commission to ensure the promotion and enforcement of Nigeria's economic objectives. Director General ITF Sir Joseph Ari and the Chairman of the Commission Victor Murako could not agree more that the training is apt and will improve the services of the organization.
The onus rests on your Commission to guide us so that the economy will be strong, so that the country will move along a proper pathway for generations to come.
A lot in our public finance relies on our efforts. The government is seriously looking at ways towards us to bring about the needed change. And obviously, we cannot do this without building your capacity.
It is expected that after this training, the Commission will carry out its duties with diligence so as to make Nigeria's wealth useful to its citizens. In Jos, Zenra Dingmun, NTA News.
As part of efforts to provide efficient health care to communities, Wase Local Government Council, in collaboration with Eden Compassion and Health Mission International, has taken free comprehensive medical and surgical services to over 5,000 patients with various medical health challenges. The medical outreach went simultaneously in 4 strategic health facilities across the local government area. Abdul Wahab Abankanti has more.
Eden Compassion and Health Mission International said partnering with the local government was born out of passion to meet the desired health needs of a common man at the grassroots, where there is little or no other healthcare services.
We have seen close to 5,000 people generally. We have operated close to 700 people so far. Among them, we have operated close to 200 eye surgeries, and we have done close to 20 hysterectomies, that's removal of the womb, which are major operations.
Chairman of the locality said the program has now become an annual event.
The burden of surgical diseases in the council is on the high side. Therefore, we decided early this year to include free medical outreach, particularly surgical services, to our community.
The large turnout of people to benefit from this benevolence of the council's chairman reveals how people have been suffering from different ailments but could not seek medical attention due to inability to afford medical bills. From Wase, Abdulwahab Abankanti, NTA News.
And that does it from Jos. The news continues shortly after this break with Kudu in Abuja.